Today we are going to talk about how a small company that really just wanted to make our video games a little bit better somehow ended up building the engine for the entire AI revolution. This is the story of Nvidia, a company which is very popular currently in the stock market and actually is the most valuable company currently in the US and entire world. My name is Dr. Abdoli and this is TekTuk Time. It all kind of started with a piece of software that taken the entire world by the storm, ChatGPT. You probably have used it. You definitely see the headlines about it. I mean, this is a technology that feels like it just appeared out of nowhere. And people are already comparing its impact to the launch of the iPhone or the introduction of the internet. But here is the thing, almost no one sees the incredible, massive physical hardware that makes all of this AI magic even possible. And behind this whole explosive wave of artificial intelligence, it is pretty much one dominant company in the semiconductor space. So that brings us to the big question for today. How on earth did a company that we all knew for making graphic cards for games get to the point where it is literally powering the future of technology? Well, the answer is an amazing story of vision, risk, and a huge bet. Okay, let's look at the Nvidia story. It all begins not in some fancy boardroom, but in a booth at the Denny's diner. So it is 1993. Three engineers, Jensen Huang, Chris Malachowski, and Curtis Priem, they just seen Jurassic Park and their mind were blown. Their big idea was, hey, what if we could bring that some kind of immersive 3D world out of Hollywood and put it on every single personal computer? But, and this is a big but, it was anything but an easy ride. As CEO Jensen Huang says himself, they made these huge bets that nearly bankrupt the company more than once. I mean, there were these tiny startups going up against absolute giants trying to invent something completely new. The stakes could not have been higher, and yet they started to rack up some wins. They made this brilliant strategic move, pioneering what is called a fabless model. Basically, they just focused on designing the chip and let another company like TSMC handle the incredibly expensive manufacturing parts. And by 1999, they released the GeForce 256, the world's first GPUs or graphic processing units. Then in 2000, they landed a massive deal to power Microsoft's very first Xbox. They were officially the king of gaming. But this is where the story takes its most important turn. Because while the rest of the world just saw a gaming company, Nvidia was quietly building something else entirely, something that would change everything. In 2006, they released a software platform they call it CUDA. And for an entire decade, Wall Street analysts were just confused. They asked, why are you pouring so much money into this thing nobody is using? Think about that. For 10 years, the market valued this massive company defining bets at zero. So, what did CUDA even do? Well, it unlocked the power of something called parallel computing. Now, instead of a computer tackling a huge problem one step at a time, it could break up that problem into thousands of little pieces and solve all of them at once. Okay, here is a really great way to think about it. A normal computer chip, a CPU, is like one giant super strong soldier. He can handle any task you give him, but only one at a time. A GPU, on the other hand, unlocked by this CUDA software, is like an entire army of thousands of smaller soldiers that can just swarm a problem and solve it all at once. And here is the crucial, absolutely mind-blowing part. It just so happened that the exact same process, that army of processors, making light and shadow look real in a video game, was also the perfect way to do deep learning, which is basically the foundation of all modern AI. Nvidia had almost by accident built the perfect engine for a revolution that hadn't even started yet. This brings us right back to today, the AI Big Bang. That 10-year $0 bet, well, it is now paying off in ways that frankly nobody could possibly imagine. The first big signal failure went up in 2012. An AI called AlexNet running on two regular old Nvidia gaming GPUs entered to this big image recognition contest. And it didn't just win, it obliterated the competition. This wasn't a small step forward, this was a quantum leap. People call it the Big Bang moment of modern AI. And the world finally started to pay attention. And the impact goes so far beyond just tech. In healthcare, for example, this same computing power is supercharging things like drug discovery and DNA sequencing. I mean, what used to take weeks of analysis can now get done in a matter of hours. And that incredible speed, it has real life or death consequences. It allowed doctors to rapidly diagnose a super rare condition in a 13 years old boy, which let them secure a life-saving heart transplant. He's thriving today because this technology exists. And when we talk about generative AI like ChatGPT, NVIDIA dominance is, well, it's absolute. Just to train the model, Microsoft had to build a supercomputer with 10,000 of NVIDIA's A100 chips. It's gotten to the point where companies are publicly bragging about how many NVIDIA chips they have, and it's become the new status symbol in Silicon Valley. And you can literally see this pivot reshaping the company business. In a recent quarter, their classic gaming revenue was actually down, and by a lot. But it didn't even matter because the growth in their data center division, which is all driven by this AI boom, was so massive that they still blow past all the expectation. So NVIDIA is on top of the world, right? Well, with great power come great risk. And the company is already looking ahead for its next big play. There are three major challenges that looming. First, geopolitics, with the US banning export of their based AI chips to China. And second, a huge dependency on a single manufacturer, TSMC, which happened to be in a very tense part of the world, Taiwan. And finally, some of their biggest customers, we're talking about Google, Amazon, Tesla, are now becoming competitor by designing their own AI chip in-house. So what is NVIDIA next move? Well, Jensen Huang is betting on something he calls the Omniverse. It's this ambitious platform for building and simulating ultra-realistic virtual world or digital twin that basically combines everything the company does into one grand vision for the future. And they aren't putting all their eggs in that one basket either. Their chips are already powering the robots in Amazon warehouse. They are building the brain of self-driving cars with partners like Mercedes-Benz, and they're even using AI to reinvent their original business, using technology called ray tracing to create graphics that are just unbelievably realistic. Ultimately, Jensen Huang sees a fundamental challenge ahead for all of us. As AI gets woven into everything we do, the demand for computer power is going to just skyrocket. And that's create a massive energy problem for the entire planet. He's positioning NVIDIA as the company that can solve that problem. So from a Denny's diner to the very core of the global tech economy, NVIDIA has managed to place itself at the center of pretty much every major trend of the future. They didn't just win the gaming market, they built the foundation for the next industrial revolution. But history reminds us that no crown is worn forever. The very giant they enabled, Google, Amazon, and Tesla, are now designing their own chips. I believe the race for tomorrow's processing power has just begun. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more video like this in the future. Thank you for watching.